the round of 16 playoffs. I'm Zeller, and I'm joined by Dawn. How you doing, Dawn?
I'm going well, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Quite excited to get into this. This is our second game for the season, really, that we've been casting. And this is, I'm quite interested to see exactly how both of these teams play, particularly Defenstrative Apocalypse. They were one game away last season from making it to the finals, but unfortunately they weren't able to pull through there. So I'm quite curious to see if they've really been practicing since then. I know that their lineup has had a few changes, particularly Lincoln's joining the squad now, where previously that spot was being held by Sydney, who he was casting with me earlier today. But yeah, quite curious to see exactly how they do. Same with MEKA. I mean, they're pretty new to the scene as well.
I'm just hoping we see a more even game than the one we did in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, Animus Vox really took me by surprise, I gotta say. For a team that hasn't really been, hasn't really stepped into the competitive scene at all, they really took a lot of control over Snatch Steel, who are much more experienced, so we'll see what happens. I mean, Defenstrative Apocalypse, as I was saying, they were here last season, and MEKA, the new guys, defense at the very least, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if the new guys can set the, I guess, the more familiar team again.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. And it looks like a reasonably standard draft at the moment. You've got your typical band like an Invoker, Ancient Apparition, and Ember Spirit, with the Mirana first pick into a Centaur. I'm assuming that's going to be an offlane. What do you think about this Naga? You thinking carry Naga, or you think you're going to go with a support?
I think, well, recently we've seen a lot of those sort of carry Nagas. I think this is probably what they're looking for, but I gotta say, MEKA's lineup is not
10 seconds remaining.
It's not, set in stone. They're a little bit open in that regard. even that Nyx Assassin generally is a support player, a support hero, but we do see him in different lanes on occasion. But yeah, that Naga Siren, if you can get a very quick read up on Naga Siren, for example, you can really start to dominate the entire game. I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And
I think it will be a carry there.
MEKA's draft, as you say, is very open at the moment. I mean, with Nyx and Naga, they can go in almost, like, they essentially can go in any lane and play any roles. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, as opposed to Defenstrative's draft with Centaur, which I'm assuming that's going to be an offlane. There's not really anywhere else he can go. I mean, I have seen him play in the carry role.
Yeah, I think the Centaur's strongest position in the offlane, and when you have a Mirana as well, it's unlikely for him to go as that carry, just because Mirana's either your support or your semi-carry role most of the time. We have seen Mirana in the offlane on occasion, just because she has, the escape and all that sort of stuff, but I suspect it's going to just be a pretty standard Centaur lane.
Yeah, and you can see now the Bane ban coming out, so they're obviously afraid of the setup. I'm just wondering if they'll be even more afraid of that, banning out perhaps the Shadow Demon, but I wouldn't necessarily expect it. Shadow Demon doesn't see a lot of play.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, if you're going to use up so many bans just to ensure that the Mirana doesn't have combo, it means that Defenstrative Apocalypse are going to have much more to play with in terms of what they really want to pick up.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you see the Doom ban coming out there. So I just wonder if they're thinking of picking a particular hero that Doom counts, like the Anti-Mage or a Slark or something like that, or if that's just a basic ban against a very strong hero.
5 seconds remaining.
It could be a bit of both, and as you said, it could be specific to ensure that they can get something that doesn't get completely shut down by Doom, or it could just be that Doom is quite powerful, even against its hero that they currently have, that Centaur Mirana. Doom can really help to shut those two heroes down. If you don't have a Centaur in those team fights, if you can't get his ulti off, if you don't have the Storm, you can turn the fight, and Mirana as well, of course, her ulti, and she's got quite a few big abilities there. So I think banning out the Doom works both ways for them, and I don't really think, I mean, for them, it doesn't look like it would really fit well with their lineup at the moment. So getting rid of it,
yeah, well,
pretty good choice.
It's always a strong ban, and I wonder why Defenstrative banned the Visage. That must mean they think that Naga is going to go a core role here, because why would you ban another support like that?
Yeah, I totally agree. Visage is pretty strong, and I think also Defenstrative Apocalypse, it may mean that they want to play a little bit more defensive. That Visage is very powerful in any sort of aggressive tri-lane, or any sort of tri-lane really, but he really excels at putting the aggression on, and when you have a Nyx assassin there as well, you can really get some easy first bloods and some kills.
Yeah, no kidding. And there you see the disruptor pick. So I think that kind of reveals a bit of what MEKA is going for here. Is that big teamfight strategy with the Naga roll into the disruptor.
Yeah, I
wonder
do
what
agree
else
with you
I pick
there.
with that.
And yeah, there's still a lot more heroes that you can choose that works well for that. But I think Defenstrative Apocalypse, they're gonna. Well, they actually picked up that loop quickly. That is going to be a carry Luna, and that to me that indicates that's going to be a support Mirana. I know Defenstrative Apocalypse, they've in the past they've sort of liked the Mirana more in the support lane. But we'll see exactly how it works. Well, she does need a bit of something to combo with that. There's still some heroes in the pool which are quite common that they can work with something, maybe like a Shadow Shaman. You can get a nice shackle on, you can easily land arrow as well, and also it gives you a bit of push, which sort of goes hand in hand with that Luna as well. Luna's a very strong pushing hero as well.
Yeah, tell me about it. As you were saying earlier, it's like I don't really like the Mirana on the K roll, and we saw what it could do in the previous game. I feel that Luna is a lot stronger. Mirana is she just doesn't have, like, I know she's an agility here, but she doesn't really have the passives to really transition into that hard carry role. She needs a lot of farm, and she's always very sweet.
That's true. They could always go for a semi-carry on this Mirana as well. Sort of, start off with the Mirana as more of like a roaming hero, set up some kills if they can around the map.
Enigma,
and
yeah,
then,
there it is.
Radiant team pick.
And then transition it into like the number 2 for Defenstrative Apocalypse. We've seen certain teams do that. Team Immunity, who were called Much Massic in the previous season.
Dire team ban.
They've done that sort of Mirana semi-carry before, and exactly as you said, there's that Enigma. So tTe, these guys are just going straight for the wombo combo.
Yeah, that's an all-in strategy, no doubt. You see the Rubik pick up immediately. They didn't even think about that, but I suspect that Rubik wasn't the support they particularly wanted to pick. There definitely is a lot of supports that are stronger than him in the current metagame. But against the Enigma, I guess it's too good to give up. We'll just see if it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, Rubik is not, as you were saying, he's not the most popular pick these days. It does see some play, of course, but I think one of the biggest problems is he's a little bit weak in the early game in the sense that his combo of lift and fade bolt is quite mana intensive. It doesn't do a great deal of damage. It does help out, and especially that telekinesis does allow you to position the enemy much better, and that can help them set up for the Mirana arrow. But yeah, I mean, the Rubik pick, it's going to be vital. So stealing out these big ultimates is going to be very, very key. And there's so many great abilities that you can steal, even if it's not just one of the ultimates, even just an Impaler from Nixus can really turn around the fight.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of good spells to steal here. I mean, he's pretty much always going to have something useful, but we'll see how it pans out for them. He got a lot weaker. If you go back a year ago, Rubik was almost first pick, first ban, but he received constant nerfs because of that. Now he's just sort of he's almost like a pocket pick. And you see,
it is much more reactive pick in that regard compared to how it was.
Yeah, Defenstrative banning out the prof, so obviously I don't think the Naga's going to go mid. I'm assuming they think he's going to carry roll, and they're just trying to avoid like even more combo. But I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Temple, there you go.
Radiant team pick.
Temple is a very interesting pick in my opinion. I think I'm quite curious to see exactly how MEKA lane is, because Timbersaw is generally off lane, but we have seen him in the lane before. He has some issues in the mid lane, of course, being a melee and all that sort of stuff. He can get sort of shut down with some of that roaming. But we'll see exactly how MEKA decide to play this out.
10 seconds.
So I'm assuming the Naga is going at mid. I mean, that's too good to pass up. But Naga can be countered relatively easily at mid, but she does have a lot of presence with the Riptide. Very easy to last hit with that.
Reserve time.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I feel like MEKA here lack the sort of late game potential that Defenstrative have, and they just want to end this as quickly as possible. They don't have the best of pushing lineup though for that. I mean, they've got the Enigma who can summon a few crits here and then, and the Naga Siren with the mirror images, but I mean, that's not that powerful, especially since you've got quite a bit of quite a few heroes that can shut so that sort of pushing potential down for Defenstrative Eclipse.
Yeah, it takes a reasonable amount of time for Naga to get online, and she is very easy to shut down with ganks. And if you look at Meka's team right now, I mean, apart from the Timbersaw, they're very squishy, very susceptible to ganks. So if they get shut down and can't transition into the mid game where they can really make their wombo combo effective, it's going to be really hard for them against the Centaur and the Luna, because one stomp and they're double edge, and that they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's the Viper pickup. So these lanes are looking very scary. All these lanes will be looking very scary for Defenstrative pops. You know, Viper, Ripple, mid hero. There's not besides you still have to do a lot of roaming ganks to shut down a Viper, just because I am in the mid lane. He can just be devastating no matter who he's up against.
Yeah, and it obviously looks like they really want to win this mid lane. I mean, Viper is a lane dominator, there's no doubt that. And against a melee hero like no, she's going to have some trouble if she doesn't get some support.
I think we might even see a Nyx Assassin mid. I know that Kaz is more of a mid player, and he's the one that's picked up the Nyx Assassin. And I mean, Nyx Assassin mid was sort of
10 seconds remaining.
was a thing a long time ago, but hasn't. I can't remember this last time I've seen it. We'll see exactly. Maybe MEKA play a lineup a little bit different to what I'm used to for some of these players. But let's introduce the teams. On the side of Defenstrative Apocalypse, we do have Anachromatic on that Mirana. We've got Lincolns on the Rubik. Exodius is sitting on that Centaur. We've got Burner on the Luna, and last but not least, Out of Control is on the Viper.
And on the side of MEKA, we have Exemption on the Timbersaw, Wazza playing the Nyx Assassin. You got Ching Ching on the Naga Siren, Rain on the Enigma, and on the Disruptor you have N. I'm assuming that's how his name is pronounced, N.
I don't know. I'm gonna roll with that as well.
Yeah, I totally that. So it looks like a pause at the moment. I don't know if we're having some latency issues or the players just aren't there yet, or maybe a bit of strategy talking, who knows.
Potentially. We do see a few drawings on the map, currently from Defenstrative. Looks like they want to potentially move into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, it seems that way, and I like they have the telekinesis, and that's really strong at level 1 for those guys. So we'll see what happens.
They've bought 2 smokes, so this is quite possible. They haven't skilled anything, so actually, Wilkins has skilled with telekinesis. I mean, they're not going to skill anything else as a Rubik.
Yeah, what else is he going to take, pretty much?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you need that clutch damage at the end, it's basically always going to be telekinesis.
Pretty much. And
check
yeah,
out Naga's set. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the. That's quite a nice
that's
set.
one of my favorites. And Disruptor, actually, also.
Earlier Naga sets as well.
Check out Disruptor's, whatever the T-Rex or something that he's riding.
Yeah, I forget what they're.
Oh, they smoked. They smoked. We could see some action here. There's four Dire Jungle, 5 Radiant. Looks like Timbersaw is just going down to get some early wards out. This could backfire. Oh, I forgot. Here they go. Arrows. Cancel the arrow.
You're gonna have to run.
30 seconds to battle.
No, it was easy to dodge.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Ruby just couldn't get that.
Yeah, not in range. That's unfortunate. You see some early sentry wards out here as well, so they're blocking the camp. Yeah, that's a smart idea, shutting this Enigma down completely. And if they don't counter all of these, he's going to have a real hard time. And if you can't get some momentum in the jungle as an Enigma, then you really can't get that fast mick or the fast link, whatever it's going to help to the item your team really needs.
The battle begins.
And it will be a Nyx Assassin mid. Interesting. It's gonna be tough for him without roaming.
This would just personally, I would almost give the edge to Naga here, just with her Riptide. It's so cheap, and if you bot Crow, you can really you can dominate that lane.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin mid is something that we haven't seen in a long time. Up against the Viper, he's going to struggle. He does have once he gets the levels up, he's going to have the Spike Carapace, which is going to be able to pop, which will reduce some other harassment coming out from Out of Control, but it's not going to too much. The poison damage is really going to be doing the mass amounts of damage, and I feel like that it sort of puts the pressure on MEKA to roam around a little bit, because if you lose your mid, particularly to a Viper who generally see roaming quite early on, you might see him pick up a quite quick Shadow Blade and move around. That's going to cause a lot of issues, not just for that mid lane, but for every single other lane.
Yeah, and you actually notice that Nyx Assassin has gone into a 4-man shield here. He's only got 1 pulled tango, so he's really susceptible. If he starts taking some harass damage from Viper, he's not going to be able to do anything, and he's a long way off that bottle. because people poor man shield. So we'll just see what happens with that. I'm not sure about this poor man
Yeah,
shield, to be honest.